Și acum zic să dăm start evenimentului, să invităm primul speaker, care este la moment în Statele Unite. Este vorba de Ivan, la care acum este miezul nopții și așteaptă probabil cu nerăbdare să intre în contact cu noi. Ivan?
Yes.
Ivan, good evening and good morning for us. I will leave the floor to you.
It is good night at my end, but good morning to you all.
Thank you, Ivan. So let's start our conference.
Good, thank you. So you can hear me. It's a bit of a strange, I can't see you, I can't feel you. I don't know the dynamics in the room, who you are, how many you are. But good morning, everyone. And thank you for joining this wonderful event today. So I'm thrilled, obviously, to have this opportunity to share some of my views based on my experience or learnings over the past 25 years. So I thought about a bit what to talk about, what to share, build some fancy slides to share, talk about some trends around how artificial intelligence or big data could potentially transform HR or leadership in that area. But at the end, I decided to have really plain slides and put forward really 9 questions that I think is important. And why 9 is mainly because of the time constraints of 20 minutes that I was told that I need to fit in. So there are more questions that ideally I would like to share or pose for you to think about, but this 9 probably would give you some food for thought as you leave today's event. So let me start with a okay. So hopefully you can see. So let me pose this question first, right? So suppose you are instead of a CEO, CFO, senior executive, suppose you were a football team coach, right? So who would you want to spend your time with, right? If you are a coach, with your team players, or with your accountants, with your finance professionals, with your numbers, right? So as we are probably, as you pondering around this question, so as we are growing or moving up on the career ladder as individuals, we are mostly focusing on numbers, right? Growing ourselves. But we often, when we get to that upper level, we forget that actually now it is time for them, for team players, to spend time with them, to coach them, to grow them, right? To instill confidence in them. So I think what we also missed oftentimes, and I would like you to think about, is what I would call leading versus lagging indicators, or input versus output metrics, right? And as you think about numbers versus people, I mean, on people you have control, right? You hire people, you train people, you put people in the right places, and in return you get results on which, once you're looking at those figures, you don't really have much room to navigate. You can't really influence, right? Just think about it. So on the upstream, as leading indicators, you have control on your people. And on the downstream, when you're looking at the results, you can't really change much, right? So again, think about who you or what you spend your time with as you work internally with your team, right? So ideally, most of it should be with your team members, with your players who deliver the results. So, second question is about who you hire, right? So do you hire A players or settle for B players or even C players, right? Probably you've seen this or heard of this, that A players or strong team members want to hire even stronger ones. so that they feel confident they will know something and they want to know even more. They want to learn something new, right? While if you are an average player or average team member, you're kind of like insecure, afraid that if someone even stronger joins in, you might feel inferior, right? So you encourage or you support to hire even C players as opposed to like even B players, right? The other thing which we've noticed, and I believe you have as well, is that A players or strong players or team members try to, be vocal and find out who those B or C players are and try to get rid of those, or at least, speak up to whoever has an influence to kind of like replace those players. While if you look at the B players, they're kind of like trying to keep or socialize with those B players, C players, and kind of hang around and try to stick with them and keep them in the company, in a good company, right? So just think about those, who you are as a player. Are you a player? It normally begins from the top, right? If you're an A player, obviously you aim to further improve the team, bring even strong players, right? And obviously, as you've probably seen, winners or strong players like to hang around and work with the equal-minded, stronger players. So question 3. So when you are hiring a new team member or a player, so are you raising the bar, right, of your team? And this is something that was invented, if you like, within Amazon, right? So within Amazon, at whatever level, when you are hiring someone, at the last interview panel, we have a bar raiser. And normally the bar raiser is experienced employee who knows the culture, who knows the leadership principles, who knows on average, say at 50%, what caliber of employees or team players we have, right? And every time we hire someone, we ensure that that new hire raises a bar, meaning that they are above that threshold, right? So this bar raiser have a authority to veto the decision, right? So regardless, even hiring manager, if they like that person, if everyone likes that person to bring into the organization, if the bar raiser is not confident, doesn't like that person for whatever reason, and they think that they don't exceed that bar, they have a veto not to hire that person, right? So I think this is key. That starts with the hiring to raise the bar, to improve that, the caliber of your team, and obviously hit that A plus team players, right? Group internally, and the team spirit, which is a key for success. So number 4. So this is also not very new, but really key. So when you are hiring someone, or I should say, we often have a tendency to hire someone with extensive experience or domain knowledge, but oftentimes we are better off to go for growth, right? Growth potential. So these are the people who know how to learn, let's put it this way, right? So they are asking really tough questions, really different questions, which are not quite asked internally. If we are a team of bankers with 20 plus experience, we are similar in experience, similar in education, we often tend to ask similar questions, while if we bring someone from who has a growth mindset, coming from a different background, they might be asking different questions. They might be asking questions they, help us figure out the needs and try to find actual problems, right problems to solve, and right opportunities to capitalize, as opposed to, whatever comes first. So this is really key, right? And even in a big tech, or even traditional banks, we don't want to, or if you have an extensive experience and put on your resume, go for it, submit. I mean, oftentimes they don't invite you even to the interview because you have that experience. Even they try to invite or bring in someone or other people who have a different experience or background. So I think when we are hiring someone, please pay attention or ask yourself, are we hiring, are we tempted or rushed to hire someone because we have a pile of work to tackle, to do? And when we are looking at someone who has extensive experience and can come in and straight jump into the job and deliver, or if we have someone that may require a couple of months potentially to get up to speed, learn quickly and deliver. So who do we hire? Who do we prioritize? I think that's one of the key questions to think about. So question 5, again, this is yet another what I found a key question. Often we as leaders try to or tend to put our best people on problem solving, right? So we have some problems, we know who our most capable people are, and we assign those problems to those people, right, to solve. So this is kind of like a counterintuitive, but what we should be doing, I think, and not only me, is putting our best people on the opportunities. And there are several reasons, right? But the key ones are that solving problems, I mean, probably there are some other people who can do that. And also we know what that potential result might be, right? While for opportunities, these are kind of like a asymmetric areas, right? So we have that undefined potential of upside while we know the downside, right? So we know what investment may require, what could go wrong potentially, and we have that flow, right? But upside can be unlimited. So we should be assigning our best people to the opportunities. And the other thing is that, I mean, if you think about it, right? If our best people cannot deliver on those opportunities, I mean, who can, right? And probably no one. The other thing is that oftentimes even the best people are careful if the culture within the organization is not right. So they are not quite convinced that they should take on those opportunities. But on the other hand, what we should be encouraging internally, and this should be part of the culture, is that even if those or the best people that we have within the team fail on delivering on those opportunities, they should be given the second chance assigned to other opportunities and ideally promoted as well, right? So think about it. This may sound counterintuitive, but again, I mean, these are our best people, right? And while working in those opportunities, they learned probably a lot, right? So sometimes I've seen that sometimes people are let go because, you know, they were given some task and didn't deliver, but this is counterintuitive again, right? So we should be promoting those people. We should be giving another opportunity. We should be giving the other chance to those people. So again, please ask yourself, so are you putting your best people, best team players on the opportunities, or, you know, because you're facing some problem, which is probably urgent, but not important, you are trying to solve the problem with your best resources in the first place. Okay, let me move on to question 6. Again, so question 6 is around, do your team members or players know where they stand, right? And again, this is key. Many organizations, oh, I shouldn't say many, but few organizations do it right? But many organizations, especially I come from a developing world, and I've seen that they get it wrong. So oftentimes they're shy, oftentimes they avoid hard conversations, right? So they want to flag some, you know, for their employees, some areas to improve or pay attention. Sometimes even, you know, to encourage employees that, well, Ivan, well done, you've done this really well, so please carry on, right? So we don't really let people know when they stand. what their strengths, weaknesses are. This is one, but more importantly, where they stand among other team players, right? So I, as a team member, I might be wondering that there are some team players who are better than me, or I might be thinking or be confident that I'm the best team member, best player, right? Which may not be the case. And sometimes the time may come that my manager may tell me is that, well, Ivan, we need to let you go because you didn't perform, or there are some other team members who are better than you, or the other way around, right? And the questions you may get as a leader is that why me, right? Because I thought I was the best player, or why now? You never told me that I had to improve in this area or that area, right? So this is kind of like a leadership, HR, cultural question, but I think this is something that we need to think about, please. Let me move on to question 7. And this is, again, this is key in a world where I work currently. So cognitive, what we call cognitive diversity, is extremely essential for the success. And what we mean by that, probably you are aware of, but still. So when we hire team members, so do we encourage diversity, or do we try to bring in someone who are similar to who we are, right? In terms of education, a background, experience, etc., right? If we are a male, do we want to bring in another male or female? So this is a kind of tricky part. So what we call social diversity, female, male versus male. But think about it, right? So if we are all men, or we have female and male, who we are born in the same town, same country, went to the same university, studied the same thing, joined the same company, probably regardless whether they are female or male or black or white or whoever. So I think probably in a similar way, in a similar terms, right? So cognitive diversity, for example, in my team, I have a team member who's got a PhD in chemistry, right? And what she does, essentially, she leads a team in a payment space, in a lending space for North America, right? So when she joined, she didn't have any experience in a financial products, but she's one of the best players now, right? So she's got this capability, or those people have this capability to ask different questions, to approach problems or opportunities differently, right? To view or bring different perspectives and approach areas from different angles. And this is the key, right? So challenge existing status quo, they quickly learn, they're driven to learn something new. And I guess these are the people who we need, right? So this is, again, counterintuitive. When we sit at the interview, looking at someone, listening their feedback or answers, we think that, well, these are not quite, who I would like to work with, because I kind of like, I don't know, chemistry, physics, I'm a banker, right? I want to hang around with the bankers, right? Who talk the same terms, or who use the same terms, but I don't know, trust me, this is oftentimes not right. So we need people who tell us, well, you know what, you're not quite right. So we should be looking at from this perspective, right? And this goes back to these questions that, I mean, if we are in a room where we think that we are the smartest in the room, probably we are in a wrong room, right? We want people who bring different perspectives, diversity, and challenge our views, our approaches, right? So this is what we need to be encouraging, and it starts with the right hiring, right? And again, one of them is diversity. So question 8, this is around, and again, probably all of us are aware of, but I want you to pay attention. So each organization is a kind of, especially larger ones, is a combination or combination of small companies, if you like, right? Each area is kind of like a small organization leading a product, operations, finance, whatever it might be, right? So oftentimes what we do traditionally, So for example, we want to launch a new product or we came up with a brilliant idea. So we would probably go to one of the departments and say, okay, this is the idea or this is the product, and please take a lead on and manage and deliver whatever KPIs we define. And oftentimes those heads of departments struggle to, find the right place or right resources to make that product, for example, in this case, successful, right? So one of the mechanisms of what we call within Amazon is what we call a single-threaded leader. So essentially, this is a person who is a CEO of that small organization. However, the title might be just a product manager, right? So this person is normally assigned to a single product or a group of products, but more importantly, this person has ring-fenced resources, right? So he's got finances, he's got marketing, operations, tech, which is a key, right? Legal POC, point of contact. So essentially everything that organization needs to be successful, right? So why I'm talking about why I'm asking this question, because oftentimes even some of our brilliant ideas or initiatives get lost because we try to assign yet another idea or product to an organization or a unit or department which is already overwhelmed, right? So agile largely or lean methodologies that I know might be implemented some other organizations in Moldova and obviously in the US, many in Europe as well. So this helps, but again, this becomes tricky when organizations grow and resources becomes scarce, right? But if we have that single-threaded leaders, ring-fenced all the resources, oftentimes most of the initiatives, or more initiatives, I should say, succeed as than otherwise. So please ask yourself, so whenever you have something new or the existing ones, do you have specific single-threaded leaders, one person who who are the go-to people that you go to and ask a question, whether it's the product, operations, or whatever, right? Very specific ones. So last question is about, so I hope all of you do it, but is around celebrating when you win, when your team wins, right? And you'd be amazed to see that very few leaders, very few people do it within any organization. Again, I think this goes back to a culture, right? So do we quickly forget what we deliver, what we achieve, or we celebrate, right? We showcase, we give signal or send signal to other people who would see this and who would do even more to kind of like become a part of that winning team, right? So this celebrating that even the tiny wins instills that spirit in the people to strive, to try more and deliver more. So this is the key. So again, are you celebrating every single win, even however tiny that might be, right? And obviously, I would encourage you to do that. And this is the key. So this is number one, to be honest, when it comes to building the successful team, which starts obviously from the hiring. So I think I managed to do this in 20 minutes. I guess these are the 9 questions that I had for you. Lastly, thank you very much. And obviously the team with the best players, as we already outlined, wins. So I'm not sure if we have some questions to take, time for the questions. If not, here are my contact details and you can reach out to me. I would be happy to share some more or provide some more details. Okay, thank you.